I thought we'd take up where we left off yesterday. We got kind of cut short on time. John Denver and Megan McDonough came out to visit, and so we just continue where we left off, as it were, as it was. You know, we're just discussing again here before starting the tape on this one, that one of the, I guess it's an occupational hazard, Megan, that you forget names. You know, when you meet somebody and you say, yeah, wait, I know who you are, but, and it's embarrassing.
Oh, for sure. And we were discussing how I think it's because we forget to listen. You know, to listen to names. But it's so embarrassing. You can be walking down the street and you see somebody and you know them, you know, and you can't very well avoid them, and you know, just so you won't be.
Well, what do you do? Do you have a problem that way?
Yeah, really? I do, because I think that meeting a lot of people. I love to meet people. I love it, you know, because I really like people. But when there's a whole bunch of people standing around and you're meeting one after the other.
Unless they have those dumb little name cards. Don't you love those?
Right. But, you know, and so I really have a tendency to forget.
Yeah.
But,
we're talking about forgetting names, and what's his name here? Somebody said that if you can pick out a characteristic, a physical characteristic about somebody, you can, by that way, remember their name. Like if a guy's name is, I don't know how we would proceed to establish that, but somebody said if a guy has deep-set eyes or something, you just pick out some facial characteristic, and that way just try to think of his name, and then it should come to you. I still have problems remembering names. It's one of the most embarrassing things for me, and anybody in the communications business, because they feel, you know, gee, he should know me, I know him.
Yeah.
Well, I found that it's just if you're thinking about it or not thinking about it, you know, if you're meeting somebody and you think about meeting that person and you say something to them, talk just maybe for a couple of seconds, you know, then I can remember people's names. My biggest problem is like doing concerts, traveling around like that. I'll meet somebody and I'll remember them throughout the evening. But coming back there a year later, they expect to remember them, and that's very
Do they really expect you to remember them?
Well, I don't know if they expect it, but it's always like it's in the back of their heads, and it really would knock them out if you did remember.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they kind of hope it. But I just notice sometimes it seems people a little disappointed that I don't remember them a year later. And during the course of the evening, you know, I think you can sometimes remember back to little things that happen and stuff. But you meet an awful lot of people in this business. You know, our business.
It's John Denver, in case you forgot his name already. I don't know how you could possibly. And Megan McDonough, who is, you going to be on Sunday night as well?
Yeah.
Down there? That's great. What'll happen to the hoot then? Don't they usually have hoots on Sunday?
I guess well, what we're going to try to do is do our own version of a hoot nanny. Meg and I do some things together. I think Bill and Taffy might come down, and some friends of ours from around the area are going to get up, and it could be completely ridiculous. But I think it'll be a lot of fun.
John, what do you you've written some road songs. They don't say this is a road song, but there's a lot of, let me think of one. Not Take Me Home Country Roads, that's obvious, but
Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Leaving on a Jet Plane. So how about Sail Away? Well, I guess that's not really.
The Sail Away Home was written about Kent State, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. But the road, obviously in your mind and your music, your home, which is very dear to you, I know, and the lovely Starwood and Aspen that you do.
Well, Starwood is the name of the ranch where we bought some land and are building a home, and it's the most beautiful spot I've ever been on.
What is? Do you have a favorite? It's difficult to ask somebody that. All of the songs that you've written. Is there one that you really enjoy doing more than others, and one that means more to you than some of the other ones do?
Well, the one now that I think, and it's been that way since I wrote the song, that I feel just exactly that way about. It's not that I necessarily like the song more than any of the others, but it's a song I really enjoy singing for people, and I always try to remember to do that song, you know, although there might be others that I would omit or something. But it's Poems, Prayers, and Promises. It really says very much how I feel about my life at this point.
It's such a beautiful song. I really love it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Is it hard for you to write songs? Do you sit down seriously and try to write a song and nothing happens? Or do they just happen to come to you at odd times?
Well, it is very hard for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a prolific songwriter, and I've always been, basically, I wait until something comes, and then I have the time to sit down and write with it. Like, I collect little phrases. I'll think of something and write it down on a plane trip or something. And then whenever I have the chance, I sit down and try to build a song around that. And I'm not a very patient fellow, and when it's difficult going, I usually get into something else. And I've only written, well, I wrote 2 songs in January that I sat down to write a song, and then I wrote 4 songs for a little movie in Minnesota that some people were making, and they
you wrote a
came out better
commercial
than I
once, I know
expected.
that.
Oh yeah,
For the bank.
the bank commercial. Yeah.
That's a funny story.
But I've only written about I think 6 songs in the last 6 months, and it usually works out to where I have about 1 song a month that I write.
Megan, you write songs.
Yes.
And that beautiful one that you have out now. Is it hard
Thank
for you to
you.
write songs?
Sometimes, sometimes it can come to me, and sometimes, it's very difficult. But like John said, I think that a lot of songwriters take phrases that just pop into your head at 4 o'clock in the morning. You can be just dozing off to sleep, and all of a sudden you get a thought, and you have to get out of bed, and you can't think to yourself that you'll write it down when you get up because you can forget.
Who really knocks, I'll ask both of you this, Megan, you first. Who really knocks you out as a performer?
Oh, as a performer?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd have to say John. To be
Oh,
truthful.
wow.
No, I really do. I would really, because I remember seeing John at the Troubadour, and just knocked me out. I really have to be honest. And that's not because you're sitting here. But in all honesty, I think that puts on an excellent show.
Did any one person influence your style of performing, you think, back when you were
In the beginning,
in Chicago?
yeah. When I was really starting out a long time ago, I was influenced by Cher, I think.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, man!
She
I wanted
influences me a lot, I'll tell you that.
I wanted, the long black hair, and and then I got into Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
But then I learned that there's only one me,
That's right.
and
Some performers never learn that.
yeah,
That's
that's
true.
a shame. That's a shame.
And I think that's the single best thing that can happen to anyone who wants to do something in this business, is to find out about yourself to the extent that you can do your interpretation of your feelings about music, the songs you sing, the songs that you write, and not be a copy or an imitation of somebody else.
Did it take you very long to arrive at, quote, me, unquote?
Actually, I don't think so. I think from the time that I started performing, which was when I was still in college, there was a thing that I suppose just a feeling that I had that I didn't know what I was doing. It took a long time for me to know what little thing that I had, which I think is my talent. I don't think I'm that good a singer. I don't think I'm that great a songwriter, but I think I'm a good entertainer. And it's gotten to the point now, through experience, I know what I do, and sometimes I work at making it happen, and sometimes I can't do it. But it usually comes on a feeling of me inside and how I feel at that moment, rather than being able to do or not do the job. But I love to entertain people. I enjoy performing. I love to make people laugh. I like to sing for people. And when they smile and when they clap, it makes me incredibly happy. And it just starts building, and it's something that is just a natural part of me.
There's nobody in the world that is out of entertainment that can realize what a feeling that is.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. We were talking about influences. Anybody come to your mind immediately?
Well, Tom Paxton and Bob Gibson, I think, are 2 big influences. Bob Gibson in just the way he presented himself on stage, and Tom Paxton, the kind of songs he wrote. But you were asking about, well, to take that a little bit further, the fellow or the person now that I think is doing better music than anybody around is Harry Nilsson.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the greatest singer I've ever heard. He can do anything with his voice. Anything with his voice. And he writes really great songs, and he has beautiful albums, but he doesn't perform. He
doesn't perform
on stage.
Uh-uh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he refuses to
See, we
perform.
get his records, but I never realized that he doesn't perform.
Yeah, I was reading in Newsweek, I think it was, Newsweek or Time, he was discussing that in the studio, you can go back. If something doesn't go right, all you do is, take the tape back. But he says that if he ever got up there on stage, that he's somewhat of a perfectionist, so if something went wrong, he could never stop and say, okay, let's do it over. Because, when you're up there, that's it, And I don't think he doesn't like that.
It's an embarrassing thing. I've seen that happen with performers. They're just trying to get an act together and say, let's restart. At least they had the guts to restart or retune or whatever it might be to do the material right. But I've seen people just come on with. I guess it's an unprofessional way to approach it. But people come on with untuned instruments and just it doesn't work.
Well, stopping something to start over, I think, it's not the thing that you can do in every song, and you should be in tune, and you should make an effort to do the things right. But I don't think that you can ever do a song perfectly. I don't ever expect I don't expect me to sing the song perfectly, and to play the guitar perfectly, and to have Mike play perfectly, and Dick play perfectly on the same song at the same time all the way through. I don't think our music is like that. It has too much to do with how we feel and what's happening with the audience and whether you get into that particular song or not. It just doesn't work all the time. And you know that, and what you try to do is make it the best possible and to get into it as much as you can, with the audience that night and give them a good show. But sometimes you have an incident, and this, I think, depends on the audience. I had a song last night that it's kind of a hard song to sing because of the range of it, and I got started, and you get something in your throat, and I couldn't get it out, couldn't do anything, and tried to do 2 verses, and I couldn't do the whole song like that. Couldn't do that to people, and I had to stop and clear my throat. And I told them, listen, we can pick it up the 2nd verse, or we'll go back and start over, whichever you'd like. And it was comfortable enough, where the people understood. But you can't always get away with it.
Well, yes, you're home down there,
Well, that's
nothing
what
you
it
can
is.
do wrong. And it's interesting that you mentioned the contrast between some of the people where you go out across the country and they're not that familiar with your work, and you kind of have to win them over, as you say. And that's a tough thing to do.
Sometimes it can be very hard. Sometimes it's an all-night job. You really feel like you're earning your money.
And you've accomplished something at the end, though.
Yeah,
You've really done your work.
If you think you got them, yeah.
That's right. I'm running out of time again, you guys. Doggone it. Megan McDonough, fantastic
Sure,
name.
that'd be good.
Love
Thank
that
you.
name.
Thank you.
Malachi McCourt. He's a bartender, I believe, in Ireland somewhere. He's got some fantastic Irish stories. But continued success, John. You're just something else.
Oh, thank you very much.
And you got a friend here, to quote Carole King. And Megan, you're gonna be something else too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.